Alright guys, we are jumping into this really quickly. So I have already started by doing my face and we are going straight into the eyes. I'm taking my Morphe 350 palette and a fluffy Morphe brush that I will link below, and just starting off with some transition colors. We're going to move pretty fast through this because the eyeshadow is not super essential to this look. This is just something that I wanted to create that I felt like was very fall inspired and fall appropriate. So basically we're just going to be working with the reds and the deeper warm browns to just start to build up that outer crease. And now I'm just taking a little bit more of a pointed, fluffy brush and really deepening that outer V so that we can get a little bit more of like an ombre look. And then of course, every time I add a darker shade with the more pointed brush, I go over it with the bigger fluffy brush just to make sure that we have no harsh lines. Now I'm going to be taking this color that reminds me a lot of Makeup Geek Chickadee. I'm just going to be going over everything just to warm it up and get everything blended together. Now I'm taking the NYX concealer with this M432 Morphe brush and doing a little bit of a cut crease technique. This isn't super important. This is really just laying down a base for the shimmery shadows and the pigments that we're going to be putting on top of it. Because they're darker shadows, it's not going to look like a cut crease technique, but I wanted this to make a large foundation for all of those pigments to lay on top of. Now just taking the lightest color, maybe not the lightest color, of the Tarte Shape Tape. I thought that this was a little bit lighter and more full coverage than the NYX concealer, which you can see it is a little bit here, but the NYX concealer is a little tackier. So this combination gave me a really nice base for those pigments to lay on top of. If you are looking for a brush to create a cut crease look, this Morphe brush is perfect for that, like drag and pull technique. So now I'm taking a MAC pigment in tan and then spraying my brush with Fix Plus, and I'm really going to be putting this all over where we just added that concealer. I'm going to be doing more of an ombre technique with this, so I want this shade to kind of serve as the main foundation of it. And then we'll add colors in the inner and outer corner to kind of blend everything in together and create more of the ombre look. Now taking the Morphe 35F palette, I'm taking this copper shade and putting it from the inner to about the center of my lid. And then I'm going to be going over it with my finger just to make it a little bit more metallic. And then again, the 35F palette, taking this metallic red shade. And we're going to be meeting where the matte shades start to meet those pigments and those more metallic colors, and really blend in all three of these colors so that they meet and don't have any harsh lines. I'm just taking a really small liquid liner just to line my lash line. The lashes we're using are pretty thick and have a pretty heavy band, so I just want to help to blend them together. Off camera, I did the Ardell lashes. They are double up wispies. These are actually a lot more intense than I had anticipated them to be, but that's okay, it still works because it's Halloween, so we're gonna be extra. I'm just lining the lower lash line as I do. And now we're going on top of the face with some powders. I started by bronzing up my face with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and just a big fluffy brush. And then we'll go in and contour with this LA Girl face powder. This is a super dark face powder, but it really gives more of that like intense contour and hollowed out look. because I wanted to create more of a shadowed effect rather than like a natural everyday contour. I'm taking an e.l.f. highlighter and just highlighting the tops of my cheekbones. I do end up going over this with a little bit more of a intense bronzy color because I felt like she needed to be a little bit more bronze rather than pink. And I'm super pale right now, so that e.l.f. highlighter looked very pink on me. So we're just taking that copper shade from the 35F palette and putting that wherever we feel like it. Now again, taking the 35F with that metallic red shade that we put on the outer part of the lid and some MAC Fix Plus and creating kind of teardrop effects and just kind of dragging it down from the eyes to create a little bit more of like an evil effect. Now taking this Mehron powder and this Nye Liquiset, we're going to create a lot of different coppery details in this look. This powder is incredible. It's just like a pure pigment mixed with the Liquiset. It makes like a liquid metal. So I'm putting this on the tops of my eyebrows and then into the center of the inner corner in that tear duct area to really melt all of those copper and red tones together. Now this part is a little bit trickier, so I created these teardrops. Don't ask me why she's crying. I live in Colorado, so the Queen of Fall only lives here for about a week, and then it's winter, and then she dies. So that's why my Queen of Fall is crying. But I essentially created these teardrops with a glue gun. I made these teardrop shapes and then waited till they dried. I, of course, only had black eyelash glue, and it essentially made it black around the border. That's okay, because once I started painting it with that Mehron pigment, it started to add a little bit more depth around the teardrops, so I ended up being okay with it. But if you have clear lash glue, use clear lash glue. I'm really just taking like a very tiny precision brush to paint that Mehron pigment with that Nye Liquiset. And you really want to be more pigment than Liquiset because then it really starts to just grab onto that copper color. And I keep going back with that red pigment because I just keep wanting to darken it a little bit more. So now I am lining my lips, getting ready for a darker lip color. I will leave this lip liner color below, but it's just a little bit darker than my natural lip color. Then I'm taking this Magic Flash Color palette. It's basically a ripoff slash dupe of the Makeup Forever, but it's much cheaper. And I mixed the black and red to create a little bit more of a deep purple. I ended up extending her lips out, but I change it in a second because she looks a little bit more like a clown than I would like. Then I'm going on top to create a little bit more dimension in the center of the lip with my favorite liquid lipstick, which is SugarPill in KIMCHI. Now I'm going back over with the Mehron pigment and just setting on top of that lip color. Now add a wig and some fall inspired leaves, and this is the created look. I hope you guys like this. Please give it a thumbs up if you like this video, if you want me to do more Halloween inspired videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Stop it!
Hello? Am I a movie star?
I have to finish my outro.
But I'm a movie star.
Actually, I have to film an intro too. Fuck.